Alright, this is round 2 of this same flight fight. So last time we had Scott over here, and in proper preparation of the COVID-19 coronavirus, we're only doing one at a time. So instead of having 6 people here, we're doing each person one at a time. So I'm the only person that's the patient zero for everybody here. But I'm being tested at the hospital, and I don't have coronavirus. Thank you, Jesus. So we're doing it again. We've got the same leaders. We've got the Weller Foolproof, the Rebel Yell 10-year single barrel. All these are single barrels, with the exception of the Larceny barrel proof, right? That was a batch.
Mm-hmm. That was a batch.
Okay, so they're all single barrels. Old Weller Antique107, Weller Foolproof, which is a store pick and a single barrel. The Old Weller Antique is a store pick and a single barrel. Cask strength single barrel, last barrel of Bill Samuels or Rob Samuels. Rob Samuels Jr.'s last barrel that he did with the Maker's Mark cask strength single barrel. Rebel Yell single barrel 10-year. So that's the only one that has an age statement. All the rest are no age statement, but we know what the age statement is on most of them. And then the Larceny barrel proof is the last one, or one of the ones that's in the roster. That one's a small batch, but it is barrel proof. So they're all cask strength. They're all proof. They're all single barrels except for the Larceny. So it should be, and they're all weeders. That's the biggest thing. So all right, so we've got them labeled here. I just poured them. I don't remember what they are. He didn't watch when we did this, so we're just tasting these all blind. So we'll start with A up here, and that'll be this one to your far left. So what do you get on the nose?
The nose had a little bit of that dank basement, to where I was pretty sure what I thought it was, till I drank it, but
Get a little cinnamon, tad bit, yeah.
just a little bit. Just a little bit. It's a tasty port.
It is.
Now we have the Weller Foolproof, the Maker's Mark, the Rebel Yell, Weller Antique,
And Larceny barrel proof.
and Larceny Purple. Okay. Should I write down which one I think this is?
Sure, yeah.
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, and I'm getting a little bit of chocolate off of it. I don't know if is that proper? Do you get that little chocolatey, or is that dank basement? It's kind of like a chocolatey kind of.
I'm not getting so much of a chocolate expression. That dank basement is definitely there though.
Yeah. Just looking back to see if that's what I got on the last one. I was really surprised at what happened here on the last one. I haven't revealed that to him. I'll let him know afterwards.
Really?
I don't want to skew what's going on
Okay.
there. But I was floored. Like I couldn't even talk at the end of the last one. I was like, I was too fucked up.
Okay. Now we're gonna give us a score as well.
Mm-hmm.
See, I like this, but I don't love it.
And we'll just rank them 1 through 5. So no
Okay.
score needed, just a 1 through 5.
Okay.
Which one's your favorite? Which one's your next favorite? Like that, and leave a little bit in there so you can taste them. With the other ones.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because if I have to report you, then you'll see which one it is. So we had that mistake with Scott. Scott drank through most of his, and it was like, oh, I need another pour. I was like, well, you're gonna have to step away.
All right, cool. All right. So jump off for number 2.
Yep. Number 2 is B right here. That's the second from the left. Now see, this one stands out to me, so I knew what this one was when I drank it, and when I smelled it. Same thing, I think this one. If I'm right, I don't know because I wasn't paying attention when I was doing it. I kept on mentally screwing myself up while I was pouring to make sure I didn't, know what they are.
I like that one better.
Well, they're all weeders, we know that. That's 100 proof.
That's what I was looking at.
100 proof. Old Weller Antique is 107. This is 114, and this is cask strength. So this is 110.8, and then yours is barrel strength, which is one. I feel it was.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? One something? Can't
It
remember.
was like 116,
116.
117.
Okay, yeah. So it's close to Weller foolproof, right?
Okay.
So the finish on this one. What do you think about the finish on this one? So like,
So I like.
we can talk about the taste and the finish on each one. Yeah.
So the first thing that kind of occurred to me that I realized that this one has a lot more teeth to it than the first one. Right. Which is why I turned around and started looking at the bar.
The finish is a lot hotter on that.
The finish is a lot hotter. But the flavors come through a little bit brighter too.
Right.
That's kind of the payoff.
More cherry and cinnamon.
I actually like that one. I like that one a lot actually. Nice cherry on the finish, a little bit of woodiness, but not a whole lot. But for a weeder, it's coming with a lot of flavor. Like you said, it's real hot, real expressive. So I actually really like that one.
And that's the reason I don't like that one.
And that's the
That's the reason I don't like that one, yeah. It's hot on the end, whereas the first one was a lot more smoother on the end.
It was a lot smoother.
Yeah. But it was round and big and big and woody, and like I got chocolate off of that. I don't know why. I got like a little bit of chocolate.
And I mean, and the chocolate was probably there. You know, it's
definitely the dank.
It's early spring here in Atlanta, so the pollen is whooping my ass. So I apologize if I'm not picking shit up because the pollen is killing me. But I like that. I can drink that. And I think I know what that is.
And the mouthfeel seems bigger on the first one than the second one.
Well, the first was definitely oilier.
Yeah, oilier. Okay,
It's definitely oilier.
That's what I like. Okay, that's what I like about that. I was trying to figure out what it is that I like about the first one versus the second one.
All right.
It's probably the oil because I like stuff that's not thin.
Yeah.
I like stuff because I had a hernia that sits. You know what I'm saying? And you're right. That one did have. Ooh. Hot. So I perspire from these ones. You know what I'm saying?
Number 3.
Number 3 here. Cheers. Ooh, I like the nose on that one. It's got a little of that dank.
It's nowhere near as hot as I thought it was going to be.
Why? Because of the nose?
Mm-hmm.
It almost, I mean, it's got the wood, but one was a little more bigger mouthfeel. This one's like a little flatter.
It's definitely a little bit flatter.
But it swallows real easy. It goes down easy and there's no burn, no back burn, no
Yeah.
hotness to it, no heat on the back end.
It's interesting.
I get a lot of wood. Now the first time I did this, I didn't eat anything all day except for crackers. Today I've eaten whatever.
Kevin's a popular guy.
I am. I don't know who that is. Okay. I do work in a hospital, so I keep my phone on me. I'm sorry if sometimes the phone rings during these posts. But
He's a terrible human being.
Yeah, I'm a terrible human being. I can't help it, you know. Damn nurses, you know, with the coronavirus and shit, they call us in every 5 minutes. It's real buttery though.
It is.
I really like that.
Number 4.
Number 4 right here, D. In my old faux glass. I don't know if that's gonna mix up the tasting experience because I do like Old Forester, so the glass may skew me. All of the nose on this is beautiful.
I think that's my favorite so far. This is not as hot as the previous two.
Right.
Maybe a little bit hotter than the first, but if I was to guess, I would say these are similar proofs.
Okay.
But I like that.
Might be
This
good.
one's really good. The nose is beautiful.
I love the nose on this. It's got that dankness again. That dank basement. Which is a good thing. Please don't anybody think that's a bad thing. I mean that in the most loving way. It's like that wood, old oak, you know what I'm saying? Like, old school. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no burn on the finish. It's a little sweet too.
Yeah,
I think it's sweeter than, well, I don't know.
that's my favorite pour so far. And if it turns out to be Maker's Mark, I'm gonna shoot myself. Because that's my favorite pour. So.
Number 5.
Oh. I just got like a really weird, like kind of peanut thing that kind of jumped in.
Jumping there, yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So we have a ranking 1 through 5. It would be, let me write it down.
Yeah, it's definitely got that peanut.
You got it too? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But it's real sweet too. It's
Yeah.
really sweet.
Bang.
It sits well, real hot on the mouth, real full mouthfeel,
Mm-hmm.
but no burn on the back end. Wow. So this time, let me see. Let me do some testing.
Mm.
So, alright, yeah, okay. I don't know. There's 2 that are just right there with me.
Which two?
A.
Bookends.
Bookends, yeah. That's crazy, right? The bookends, right? Yeah. There's one other here that I remember. Let's see. bookends. What was that, C? And then I don't know how to rate this. Okay.
All right. Did you write down which pours are which?
Huh?
Did you write down which were which?
On my paper?
On, like, do you know what pour A is?
No, I have to look at the bottom of the bottle.
You wrote it on the bottom of the bottle.
Yeah. So I have no idea.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
So here we go. 15 minutes in, we've tried everything, we've figured out what we like. So I want to hear from you first, before I start into mine. What is your favorite pour?
My favorite pour was pour number 4.
D.
Which would be D. To me,
That was my 4th favorite.
really,
Yes.
to me, it's a little hot, which I do like, but it's sweet, just real thick, real viscous. It's just a real good pour. It tastes like something that I like to drink all the time, especially in a weeder. You know, like I like high rye bourbons personally. That's kind of my thing. So a weeder that has some nice kick to it is always going to appeal to me. So number 4, or number pour D was probably my favorite pour.
Oh, your favorite.
Pour. What was your favorite pour?
Mine was between the bookends,
Mm-hmm.
A and E. I'm torn because I don't know which one I like the most. I still haven't figured it out yet. I mean, like A and E all day are my favorites, and they're leaps and bounds better than the middle.
See, to me, I can see why you like it.
Yes, 'cause it's oily.
I can see why you
they're
like
thick. They're viscous. They're they're right down my
For
alley.
me, A has a little bit of something lacking, like it's missing. It is oily, it is viscous, it's not too hot.
It's woody.
Super, super danky.
Super danky.
Super,
Yeah, I like
super
it dank. I like it dank. Yeah. Which is why I like the Wild Turkey 76 and all that old stuff, right? I like it dank.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But to me, it didn't have any teeth to it, really. Like
Right.
it's an easy drink.
Yeah.
It's a real easy drink.
And that's what I want out of a weeder. You know what I'm saying? Out of a weeder, I want something that's real easy to drink. You know what I'm saying? I want something that goes real easy. I can sit on a porch when I'm 80 years old and drink that shit, and it just goes down fantastic. Although it's high proof. All this is high proof. So it's not like it won't put me on my ass when I'm 80. But
the
it's
funny
something-
thing is, A was my 4th favorite.
God damn.
Like,
Okay, let's write it down.
Spectrum.
Okay, let's write it down. So A is my, I don't know if it's my first one. Although E is sweet, I'll go
It's
with
not
A
as
as my
wood.
first, right?
It's not as wood.
Right, so I'll go with A as my first. A is your 4th?
A is my 4th.
Wow. So we are trading off here. D was my 4th, your first. A was my 4th, his first. Okay. So what about E then? Where's E land on your?
So E actually ended up as my 3rd.
Your 3rd?
E was my 3rd.
Okay. It's my 2nd then. Close 2nd at that. You know what I'm saying? Very close 2nd. Almost. I've been toying between these two. I don't know where to rank them. A, E, IOU, right? What are we at? C? So let's do C. What is C for you?
C was my number 5.
C was your 5?
Yeah, C was my 5. It was my least favorite of the bunch,
Okay.
which I still drink any day, but
Right.
of the sampling that we had, it was my least favorite.
Least favorite. Okay. C was my 3rd. So we're 5th and 3rd. 3rd third and second.
Now, what did you have for B?
For B, I had it at my fifth. That was my least.
B was your fifth. B was my second.
Second and my fifth. So your roster is D, B, E, A, C.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let's see. What's the one that we both hated the most? There's a tie between those two. Should we just go D first? Should we just go?
We'll go D first.
All right. So let's go down the line.
Okay.
All right. So A. Dank basement. I love it. Real oily.
Taste it like something that Kevin would like.
Mm-hmm. Fuck my life.
Bullshit.
I shit you not. I shit you not.
I done lost every dollar in my pocket.
What did you put down?
But it was my fourth.
Oh wow.
But it was my fourth because I do not fuck with Maker's Mark.
Right. So what is that? So for you, it's your. Yeah, A is my first. Your fourth. Okay.
Yep.
So.
But it's funny because like that just told me I didn't get any of these right. I wrote down names of what I thought they were gonna be. I know I didn't get any of them right now.
Okay. So what did you think this one was?
Weller Antique.
You thought that was the antique?
I thought that was
The antique is oily.
It had that dankiness to it.
Yeah. I've never liked antique, so I knew it wasn't antique. I thought it was the Rebel Yell originally. This time around, I thought it was like the foolproof, maybe. Mm-hmm. But then I remembered the taste, so I kind of knew it was Maker's Mark, which sucked because I knew I liked it again. So this is twice that I have put Maker's Mark as my number one.
Ew, how are you gonna live with yourself?
I don't know. That's where I was like, on the last one, I was like, really? Now, in all fairness, this is Rob Samuel's Junior's last barrel. So it was like real nice coveted barrel, honey barrel type shit. But that oiliness, that dank basement, I love that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my wheelhouse, man. I can't lie about it.
Yeah.
Right there.
Bang.
I would love to see what a regular cast strength tastes like versus this. See if it's the same shit. I feel like I kind of fucked the game here by putting that in. But that was the only cast strength Maker's Mark I had. So it was either that or a 46 or a private selector, the RC6. And the RC6 wasn't fair. No. That's an extra stage shit. Yeah. So this is the only one that I had, but it was a hand-picked honey barrel. There was only 3 barrels that went into this. Three of his last barrels and 3 of Bill Samuel's first barrels. Okay. So when they made these, they're little 375s, and they were only those 3 barrels, and they only made enough for those, and they sent them out in this little cool little thing, and that was it, right? Yeah. So it is kind of, it's not really fair to the lineup because it wasn't just regular shit.
It's still Maker's Mark.
It's still Maker's Mark.
It's still
right?
Maker's Mark.
So I guess I like the.
So
yeah,
all right. So number 2.
Okay. So number 2.
Or Pour B. I should
Pour
say.
B.
That was my second favorite.
That was your second favorite. Pour B. Okay. So B is. Oh shit!
Really?
So B is Rebel Yell 10-year single barrel. That was your what? Second?
That was my second favorite.
B was your second. So Rebel Yell. What did you put?
I actually guessed that was gonna be the Maker's cash strength.
Wow.
That's what I guessed that would be.
That's crazy. And that's like 10 years. So all the rest of these are 6, 7, 8 years. You know what I'm saying? That is the one that was like, I thought in my mind, when I started this whole project, I was like, oh, Rebel Yell's going to beat everybody out. It's going to be the number 1 bourbon. Everybody's going to love it. You know what? I ranked this 5th twice, because I ranked it 5th on the last run with Scott and with John again.
You really don't like it?
I like it.
It was number 2. It was number 2 for me.
It was hot on the end, right?
It was hot on the end, but you know.
And I don't smell that dang basement. But when I taste it by itself, I smell the dank basement. But when I put it up against these ones, I don't. I don't get the dank basement. I get the cherry and the hotness and the red hops and the cinnamon, and it's real. I get a burn on the back end, which I thought that it wouldn't do that. That's just crazy. I don't know how I screwed the pooch on that one again, but
That's great.
it is what it is.
All right.
So C, which is the middle one right here, it was your fifth.
It was my fifth.
And my third. Right here. Okay, so C is, yep, C is foolproof.
Got that one right.
You did?
I got that one right.
And you put it as fifth?
Yep. I got it right, but it was number 5 for me.
You know what? You and Scott did the same thing. Both y'all said y'all hated the foolproof.
I didn't hate it. None of these pours to me were trash.
Right. None of them were trash.
So I didn't hate it. I just didn't like it as much as all the other stuff, Maker's Mark included.
See, that was my third. So
Okay.
it was a distant third from A and B, A&E, I mean, but it was my third. You know what I'm saying? A&E, in my mind, were leaps and bounds better. C was kind of like, yeah, I fuck with that. You know what I'm saying? But I think I knew the nose on it. That's the one that I can pick out. So that one and D I can pick out. I'm guessing D is
So what's D?
Old Weller Antique. If
Okay,
I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Let's see.
But I think D is Old Weller Antique.
Let's see. What's D? Pick it up.
Okay, so yours is E. So this has to be D because I didn't write anything on it. So yeah, it says D. So
Right.
D is Old Weller Antique, which is my fourth.
And I had it down as my number 1.
Damn! Your number 1 was Old Weller Antique?
Yeah.
Shit, son! Ain't that some shit?
That's crazy. Close second to it was a close finish between that and the Rebel Yell.
Damn!
I had them both at 4. I had them both
your
at
Larceny
4.
barrel proof.
And E was my Larceny barrel proof, which was 3.
And that was my second.
And I guessed that one right as well. See that? What that says? 3?
Larceny, yeah, 3.
Right.
Okay.
Guessed that right.
Well, you've been drinking
Because
it.
I've been drinking it. I
Right.
knew it.
That was his bottle. So out of all the bottles, we all came together and we all put bottles up. That was his bottle. Scott's bottle was the Old Weller Antique. Now, it was a store pick, so it was like a Tower store pick or something like that, I think.
It was good.
So,
It was
yeah,
good.
yeah, but Scott put up the Old Weller Antique. You put up the barrel proof. I put up the other 3. So that's kind of how that came out. Now, what's funny, Scott's was Larceny barrel proof, then the Old Weller Antique, then the Maker's Mark, then the Rebel Yell, then the Weller Full Proof.
Huh.
Y'all are kind of almost similar because both y'all put Weller Full Proof last. I put Weller Full Proof third in both times. Last time I put it second, so this time I put it third. Maybe it's because of the sweetness. Maybe it's because I just had something that was salty before I came down
Could
here.
be.
I had salty peanuts.
Could be.
So that might have, and the peanuts that was in this and the salt that was in this kind of might have came to my palate.
Yeah.
But on mine, I have ranked almost the same both times. So,
That's funny.
right, Maker's Mark was my first. My second was either Weller Full Proof or Larceny Barrel Pick, or Larceny Barrel Proof. They swapped. Last time Weller Full Proof was second, and then Larceny Barrel Proof was third. That was when I was on an empty stomach, nothing to eat at all, but some crackers. This time I put Larceny Barrel Proof second because it was sweet, and Weller Full Proof third. And then Old Weller Antique is same spot 4, and then Rebel Yell 10, which is my favorite. I put it as 5th. I don't know why the fuck that happened.
How much
right now.
better was that Larceny now that it's not part of the net pour?
Oh god, it's fantastic. Because originally it was hot as shit.
Yeah.
Originally it was like burn my fucking face off.
Yeah.
Now I have to say something. This guy, every time I go over his house, okay, when he pours stuff, like when it starts out, he could pour like Willet. I hate fucking Willet pot still, right? But he'll pour it into like some kind of goddamn little decanter and let it air, and this man is the master of blending shit. Okay, because he'll give me something that's blended with a little bit of that, and a little bit of something, and been sitting in this little airy decanter, and I'll be like, oh man, this is fucking fantastic. What is this? It's Willet. Fuck you, it ain't Willet. You know what I'm saying? But that's the shit he does to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he gave me this in a almost damn near 6 ounces. He gave me half the fucking bottle in this big ass pour. But I don't know what he's done to it. I don't know if he's aired it. You gotta ask this man what he's done to it.
Didn't do anything.
So it was just the neck pour was off.
Just poured it in the bottle.
Because we did the original post with the neck pour, right? And it was hot as shit.
It's hot as fuck.
This tastes nothing like that. It's super sweet. It's peanutty. It's thick and viscous. It's different from what it was.
Peanuts was crazy.
Right.
Because we didn't get that when we drank.
But that's a Heaven Hill thing. Heaven Hill's peanuts. So I kind of knew what that was. I put down Larceny Barrel Proof on that one because I already knew what it was. But I was like, damn, I like that.
Yeah,
I really like that peanut. Right? Yeah. It's like ballpark. Yeah. It was like caramel peanuts too. It was like almost like a Cracker Jack. I put it as Cracker Jack.
Cracker Jacks. Yeah.
It was like Cracker Jacks, and I love that. So it was really sweet this time. Last time wasn't as sweet when I was on an empty stomach.
No, it was
this
hot.
time.
It was hot.
Right, it was hot.
Last time.
No, well, even last time when I did it with Scott, it was. I didn't get the sweetness as much as I got on this one. I got the full proof was sweeter than last time than that one on an empty stomach. Now on a non-empty stomach and on salted peanuts that I just ate before I came down here, it was super sweet. So I don't know what happened with that. Y'all put that into the equation, but so your rank is Old Weller Antique, Rebel Yell 10-year. That was your number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Then your Larceny Barrel Proof, which is one of your faves. So you knew that one. Then Maker's Mark. Then at the end of the list was Weller Full Proof for you.
Yep.
And 2 people put that last, whereas I always put it third. It's been second and third in mine running, but it's never been first, which is crazy because this bottle secondary is worth like $400, $400.
That's insane.
Right. And this bottle is like $59.99 or $100, maybe secondary $100, right? So let's say you paid secondary $100 for this. This was your second. This was your fifth. So instead of paying $400, you can book out a 10-year Rebel Yell
and be good
and be happy as fuck, right?
Yeah.
Not to speak of an Old Weller Antique that secondary is like $100. If you buy it retail, it's like $39.99.
$39.99.
That was your number 1. It was my number 4, so I didn't like it, so it wasn't good for me. But it was your number 1. It was Scott's number 2. And then Larceny Barrel Proof was my number 2, was your number 3. So Old Weller Antique for you is Old Weller Antique, Rebel Yell, Larceny Barrel Proof, Maker's Mark, Weller Full Proof. For me, it's Maker's Mark, Larceny Barrel Proof, Weller Full Proof, Old Weller Antique, because I hate antique, and then Rebel Yell 10-year, which is crazy that I put Rebel Yell 10-year under Old Weller Antique. And that's where I get loss of words, because to me that just hurts my heart, because I love that shit when it's by itself. But in this flight fight, I have both times put that dead last. Dead last.
That's rough.
That's rough.
That's rough.
Rough as shit.
But that's what it is. It goes to show. I mean, like we had a most expensive bottle in the flight. Nobody's number 1.
Right.
You know.
And Maker's Mark to be number 1. That's fucking crazy, right?
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Even the Larceny Barrel Proof was like $54. Wasn't
number 2, number 3, right? Yeah.
And ranked pretty high. But this goes to show, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to drink good.
Right. It ain't the money that counts.
It ain't the money that counts.
Right. This is crazy. So we'll do this again. We've got Scott in, we've got John in, we've got me twice. Third time's a charm. I'm hoping the third time I can maybe pick Rebel Yell about the sand. You ranked it pretty high. You ranked it
number 2.
2. Scott ranked it 4. I ranked it 5. So you're the only person that has ranked it high. What is it that you liked about the Rebel Yell, the B? What is it that you liked about that?
I think the reason you guys didn't rank it high is because, not because of the heat, but it's not the best at any one thing throughout all these pours, right? It's not super danky wood forward. It's neither super hot nor super mellow. It's just kind of, for me, it's just kind of right in the strike zone in all those categories for me, but it doesn't have one standout feature. But it does everything well that I really enjoy. It's a lot smoother than the Larceny or the Weller Foolproof, but it had a little bit more heat to it than some of the others. So it just kind of balanced out right in the middle, right where I like it, which is why I scored it so high.
It is middle of the road. I'm just getting a hot burn on the back end. But you like that kind of stuff.
I'm not getting any burn.
But you like burn. You like burn.
I like
He's
burn.
He's a dry guy. He likes that kind of shit.
I like burn, so this is giving me no burn.
Whereas to me, it has a burn on the, like a regurg burn on the back end. Whereas the old Weller Antique, there's a little less burn there and a little more sweetness. But would you agree that the Rebel Yell is the less sweet out of all of them? Least sweet.
It is the least sweet, and
that's why I don't like
honestly, what would be interesting to do, the first time you did this, the bottles were in the same order, right? Or did you change the stickers on the bottle?
I changed the stickers.
All right.
For the second time, yeah.
It would be interesting to me to come back and do this again with the pours in different orders and see how much changes. The Rebel Yell wasn't very sweet. It's the least sweet.
Right.
So when I picked up the,
but it's also the lowest proof. It's 100 proof.
It's also the lowest proof.
Right.
Right.
It was B. It was number 2. Right.
But it was a lot. There wasn't really any true bite to it, whereas the Weller Foolproof had a little bit of bite to it. It was proofed up a little bit. So coming back to back, going from the Rebel Yell to the Weller Foolproof, I think kind of accentuated some of the facts that was a lot hotter, so it tasted hotter than it probably actually truly is.
Yeah. Now I was drinking water in between. You weren't. That's the difference. Right. Yeah.
Where if I had drank that right behind, say, the Larceny, it wouldn't have appeared as hot as it actually was. So I almost wonder if we swapped them all out, would they still come out the same?
Right. Or maybe I set them up to where some of the lower proof were first and some of the higher proof were second. Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like switch them up.
Just curiosity.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was definitely a fun experience though.
It's cool.
Really cool.
I love this. It's like science, man. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's like science. I love doing this because it tells me because I have big bottle bias.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. You know what I'm saying? When I saw Weller Foolproof, right? Yeah. I think that's the best thing in the world. I thought that the Maker's Mark was shit, but yet I'm picking it first. I don't understand why I'm doing that.
Well, look, man,
I hate myself for that. Like inside I'm hurting. That's twice I done did that shit, man.
The juice is the juice. The juice is the juice. We all have bias. We all know that there's outstanding bourbons that you can go into the liquor store and get for $30 a bottle. There's bottles that you can pay $200 for that suck. The juice is the juice, and price is not indicative of a quality pour, no more than the label is. But we all fall privy, we all fall victim to bottle
bias, right? Yeah, that's just
you know,
right.
Like if he had poured them and they'd been sitting with right next to their glass that they were in, right? That probably would have came out as the highest one.
Right.
You know.
Or close to.
Or close to. Which is why these blind tastings, you know, these flight fights are really cool because you walk into it, nothing but the juice is talking to you. You don't have the marketing or the years of history or any of that. It's just the juice. juice standing on its own, and you can kind of separate the wheat from the chaff. It was cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. Alright guys, this is number 2. We'll try it again and see what we're doing, but third time's a charm. But if it does the same thing the third time, it is what it
Maker's
is.
Mark is his favorite bourbon now.